All right, here we are. We're recording. If you have things you want to go back and listen to, there's a timer and a date in the lower left-hand corner. So just put on a piece of paper what you want to look at again. It's easier to find. Well, welcome. Some of you guys are long-term associates and traders with me or against me, and a lot are brand new. We we have three groups of people, well, two groups of people that fall into three categories. The original Dark Side group started out of another trade indicator trade room called the Intentional Trader, and it got its name because while I honor support and resistant lines, I do not trade against them if the indicators say that it's okay to do so. And that's how the Dark Side did it, because it was one of the rules that they used, support resistant lines, although they were tolerant of me. And then a number of people wanted to know what I was doing, and we started a room. Hey, guys, we hear everything everybody's saying, so if you talk in the background, it's going to be distracting. I don't know if you can mute or not on the phone on Skype, but yeah, you can. You can just hit the microphone and it'll mute, and you won't. You can talk to your heart's content. Um, and then that we had some transition issues because the guy who had the room wanted to take it over. Long story short, the Dark Side sort of folded. I have, and I thought actually that I only helped a few people, but it turns out I helped more than a few people, and the conditions for entry were the same: 10% of your earnings. And I got a couple of notes the other on in receipt of the email that I sent to you guys, and people mentioned how much they donated, and to date, the Dark Side traders have contributed over $48,000 to charities of their choices. And I want to tell you, I appreciate the people that, lived up to their commitment and also share it with me, because there's no way I can possibly police this, nor do I want to. And I'm just really proud of those people that are successful, um, regardless of the method, and that they lived up to their commitment. So, and that's sort of how we got started here. Is that another seminar by a different indicator person, and one of the owners of the company introduced me to Mike Farr and said Mike's a charitable guy. He has a cause. He wants to learn. He and a couple of his friends, I call him MT squared, but it's Mike, Tom, and Tom. I mean, Mike, Tom, and Todd, and they have a charitable interest that they're interested in with older men who are displaced or having troubles and finding jobs for them and good stuff like that. Would you help them out? And they're brand new traders. Well, time is always the most valuable possession anybody owns. And so I figured, well, if I'm going to do it for three, I might as well do it for anybody who's interested. So this is how this got started, charitable contributions. And we changed it to Done Simply Trading. Um, so we have the three groups of people from the Intentional Trader, people from Back to the Future Trading, and then the people that have both those packages. I am concentrating on the Dark Side. I will bring anybody that has the Intentional Trader package. I think highly of the program. I think highly of his indicators. I'm not using too many of them. And I think highly of Back to the Future. And I am using a few of theirs. The dark side, uh, or the done simply trading, adds them at the end. I consider this a standalone methodology, what we're looking at now. And this is the core of, well, I guess I should say, does anybody have any questions? Okay. This is the core of the done simply trading methodology. And there you got to, and the people who have been successful have taken my observations and made them their own. And the only way you're going to do that is patience and practice. And when you actually do the trade, you just wait for it. There are so many opportunities to exercise a trade that you don't have to take what I call fringe trades. And what we have here, and I've changed the names for those people from the dark side. This is now called the go line. This dashed line is called the go line. And this solid line is called the core moving average. And the dark side uses a total of 4 moving averages. Each measures a steeper angle. And it's my contention that the slope of the moving average is a representation of either volume or momentum, and that the steeper the slope, the higher the probability that you're going to have action in that direction. I've changed. I will not change the chart colors after today. I mean, this is my final version. I changed.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep,
Are you actually showing a screen, a graph right now?
I am.
Okay, we don't see it on our end.
All
I'm not
right.
sure if there's
All right.
something
Well, I'm
going on.
glad. I mean, wait a minute. Let me
I
just.
can't. I
Let's.
can't see it here either.
All right. Hold on. Let me figure out what I'm doing wrong. Wow. Why can't that die? Why not? It does not allow me to show graphics. All right. I do have a backup plan, guys. I guess after you get more than so many people, you can't do the graphs. What the hell good is that? All right, I'm sorry about this. I didn't test run with enough people. All right, here's the backup. Let me get to the website. It's already up. I just have to. Let's see. We'll do easy as 1, 2, 3. Copy. Join. Okay. I'm going to put a link. Wait a minute, let me make sure I'm working here. Hello, hello. Testing a mic. Good, it works. All right. Let's see. Share desktop. That's what I want. Full screen. Do. Okay. It's been a while since I've used this room, guys. Sorry. All right, we'll do it that way. And let's see if I can move this. This up to here. Date later. All right. Move this out. Here's the link you guys can start coming in on. Should be able to do the link. Damn. I'm laughing because I copied and pasted and it won't paste. I can't believe this. What the hell? All right. Back to here. I meant easy as one to join. Oh, it's not in here. Sorry about that. Let's try again. I love technology when it works. All right, I'm going to read it to you because apparently it doesn't want to. It's HTTPS colon forward slash dark side trading dot click meeting, all one word, .com. Don't disconnect your Skype. Forward slash easy as 1, 2, 3. As this is not. All right. And see if you guys can come in on that.
Bob, can you say that again?
I can. It's HTTPS colon.
Put the link in Skype for everybody.
It won't copy and paste. Or I would do.
I put it in there.
Oh, you did. Okay, thanks, John. Always the good helper, and good companion. He helped me a lot in the last meetings. Oh, well, stay in Skype and respond on Skype, verbally on Skype. All right, this is not working. Do you guys hear me?
You got an echo in the background, Bob.
Yeah, I do. I think it's you.
What do I need to do?
I don't know. Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? Maybe I can do it this way. I can do it here, I think, Ron. Hey, Ron, shake your head up and down. Yes, if you hear me. Do you? Anybody else still hear me? This is so frustrating. All right, everybody can hear me, I think. Ron, can you hear me? Answer in Skype. All right. All right. Looks like most people can. All right, let's continue. This is not ideal. We'll make this short and we'll do another one later. But basically, we've got four moving averages. Each would indicate a steeper color angle, and we'll add them one at a time. We're only going to talk about two today. This line, this dash line, is called the go line moving average, and it changes from yellow to blue to blue. There's yellow, and it changes based upon the angle of the slope, not a moving average per se. And you want this to be going in the go line moving average. You want this to be going in the direction that you want the trade to go, and you want the color to be blue. This is the most important line on the chart, I contend, and this is called the core moving average. And it's a crossover of two moving averages, and the rule or the observation is that when you see the core MA turn blue, which is there are different colors represent different angles, and we can show you what they are. And this happens to be 50 degrees. So when the core MA is 50 degrees or higher, it turns blue. When it's higher than 55, you get these little aqua chevrons below it. So that's higher than 55 degrees, this candle. And we are measuring the candle slope of the candle. We are not measuring the slope of the moving average. So this could actually be steeper than the candle or less, but it gives you a good idea of what's happening. And that distinction is important later when you decide whether to get in or get out of a trade. This arrow here, this what I call the anchor arrow, and it's in gold, and there's another one here and another one here. So he's going back and forth like this, as you can see. That indicates chop, and you can see that that is indeed choppy. You've got the core MA is in red, which is less than 35 degrees, which isn't good for taking the trades that we take. And you've got the go line MA is yellow, and it's not blue, and you can see that it's basically flat, so you're not interested in trades like that. But you do see you have the crossover, and this is the indicator telling you that the core moving average had a crossover, and over here it crossed over here. So you want the cross, you want the blue and blue, and you're going to see them both happen about here. And there's no guarantees, but all I'm suggesting is that if you get in on the first Obos candle after you see the core MA and the go line MA turn blue, then hop in and you'll get 5 ticks. You can't be hesitant. I mean, this one you've gotten obviously a lot more than 5 ticks. But in the beginning, just go for consistency. Go 5 or 7 ticks. The strongest trade is the first trade of a crossover. And then I call it, if you all right. if you don't have a visual, go into the screen and there's a link that takes you to a click meeting, and we will get this straightened out for the next time. But I like Skype because of everybody can talk easily. This is the strongest trade, the first entry. And if you enter again, it's a continuation trade. And you could enter again for another 5 ticks because you still have a strong here. You have a 55-degree candle, and this is still close. Things you want to notice, though, is that well, first of all, when it turns red, you don't want to get in the trade. I don't usually get in trades. I know you don't know down here, but there'll be other indicators that when you get close to the turnaround, when you start getting separation of more than 3 or 4 candles between the candle and the core MA, you want to know that there's going to be a consolidation or a reversal. You also will see that the gap between the go line and the core MA increases as it's going down. It's telling you, in a sense, that this run is having some exhaustion, that it's not going to continue. No run continues forever. The other thing is all these are Obos. I look at Obos, which is either overbought or oversold, and that's yellow around the. Wait a second, let me turn off a. What the hell's going on? Turn off the alarm. 5 minutes to the open. The Obos, I look at it as internal inertia of a candle, and an Obos gets another Obos until it doesn't, is my little ditty. But it doesn't is it's an Obos in the opposite direction or 2 candles in the opposite direction. So as soon as you see an opposite direction candle, be on the alert that this could be the end of the run. Now, that's not to say you can't have them in here, but the difference is if you had an up candle in here, you still have the 55-degree angle to support it. And as long as you're within 2 candles between the 8 and the core, which is an 8 EMA, as long as you're within 2 candles, that's going to go down. It's when it gets to be 3 candles, you got to be careful. And the other thing, I've changed all my candles so you know it. I put red around all my candles now because I want to watch the wicks easily. But so if it's not Obos, it's a non-Obos candle. So it makes deciding which candle is Obos and which candle isn't really easy now. And let's see what else can we tell you about this. So I don't want to take it too long. Again, this is another example. The indicator says we crossed the EMAs, the core EMA. You're going to see it here. You're going to be able to take it up and at least go for 7 ticks. Here's exactly what I was talking about. This is coming back. It's 3 candles away. I'm personally out here, in this range. I'm coming out. We're also hitting a moving average, and frequently there's a reversal on the moving average, and so I'm out here somewhere, and then it's coming back, and it's still blue because this blue line is going to be about where the crosshair is, so it's still blue. It's still next to the core MA, and hop in again. And for this one, I'm suggesting if you're just starting out that you go for no more than 7. If you've been around a while and you're used to this, I would say hop in for 15, 10 at the least, 15. The continuation trades, when you see this is going out, I'm only hopping in here for 5. I have like 4 dome setups for each instrument, depending on where my entry is. So I'm going here for 5 because I'm also seeing that the distance between the go line moving average and the core moving average is increasing a little bit, and we had the red, so I'm only going for 5 here. And now you're above way above the MA, and you don't want to do that because you're going to have a reversal. So you don't want to go long on a short. Anybody have any questions? I mean, that's the core trade, and everything else we do, or I do, is confluence of that move. Anybody have any questions? Let me look. Let's see. Is anybody no questions in Skype? I don't see anything in the room. All right. Everybody sort of understand? It's a review. That's all right. Do you want me to take another 10 minutes on something else, the next step, or do you want to stop and call it quits for the day and let me straighten out the audio visual presentation and continue the next time? All right. Anybody else want to keep going? All right, I'll keep going. We'll do one more. It's pretty neat. And I don't remember when it started to come into Done Simply Trading. But anyway, this is called the alert zone. Did we have that back in the days of the dark side, guys? All right. Well, it's a crossover of another MA. All right, whatever. Here's what we got. It doesn't really matter. This indicator comes with PRC lines, and these are polynomial regression lines, which are critical in you're making lots of money. Absolutely critical. So you got to pay attention at all times to the PRC lines, and you want to see what direction they're going. Now, unfortunately, these are not static. They will change. They move, but you still can make decisions based upon where they are at the time you see them, because these are generated by mathematical formulas. And why I like the PRC is that if you stretch out, it has a tendency, it being the trading candles and traders, have a tendency to go from one side to the other. And that rhythmic thing is where we pick up a lot of ticks. Of course, this is all dead back here because it's basically chop. But even, back here, it's going from here to here, or going from the halfway to here. So this is a really nifty indicator. Here's what we have learned. That this alert zone crossover has to happen before you have a core MA crossover, or the blue and the blue, which is the core observation trade, the heart of the core of our matter. So although this is a small crossover, it has to happen before the core crossover of the go line being in concert with the core MA. The other way around, you can have a crossover but not have an alert zone change, but it doesn't always happen that you will have the core MA crossover. All right, but you have to have it to have the core. Everybody got that straight? That's pretty basic but pretty important. All right, so as you can see, and all I'm looking to do is to get a few extra ticks on either side of the trade. Not every trade, just a lot of trades. On a regular Done Simply trade, it'd probably be about here where you would get in, possibly here. and you'll get your 7 ticks no problem. With the application of the alert zone, you see the alert zone, you've got the crossover, you've got the blue right here. You're going to enter in somewhere around here. So what does that mean? That means that you've just gained an extra few ticks. So you're going to end up probably hopping in here on market. You would have come in somewhere around here. So you just got another 5 ticks. Now, you keep going down, what you'll find is that as long as these stay inside the alert ribbon, the bodies, you're pretty safe. And this starts to come out. Consider getting out. This one's all the way out. You're out on 2 reasons. First of all, you're outside the alert zone, and red went to blue. So that's why you want to get out there. And the other important thing is, anybody have any questions? All right. All right. The other thing you want to see is that you want the initial entry to be outside the PRC6. Now, this is conservative, high probability trades. Practice those first. If it's outside the PRC6, see, it wants to come back in. It just wants to stay in those lines. It's out of its nest, so to speak, or it's out of its comfort zone. So it wants to come back in. It goes all the way to the other side. You got the cross, so the alert zone. You wait till you get the blue line. Again, notice this is outside the PRC. You wait for the blue line. And in the beginning, I'd say you want to make sure that the 8 EMA or the core MA is headed to where it's supposed to be. The perfect alignment is this. You want the alert zone, you want the core MA, and you want the go line. The go line is slower, so you can enter this trade without this time the go line is right there with you, which is great. For this alert zone crossover trade, you don't need the alert line to be in concert or in confluence with the blue line. But you do want to see the yellow go up. You don't want to see it flat, but you don't need to have it blue. So what do you gain here? Again, I don't know. Technically, I would say you'd end up, if you're doing the original core trade that we talked about first, you're probably entering about here. So with this trade, you're going to enter here, and it's probably another, it's 4 ticks, not 5 ticks. So it's another 4 or 5 ticks that you're getting on the trade. And again, I want you to go for 7 if you're new, but if you get in here, and you're coming here, and I'm getting out here because I have reversal. So instead of getting 9 ticks, or 12 ticks, I'm getting the extra 4. So it's 16 ticks versus 4. But this also keeps me in longer, and that's why I'm using. This is almost like an initial crossover, and because I'm outside the PRC, that's why I'm using the 15 tick thing. Use 10. It's not a question of. It's a question of consistently winning. The number of ticks is almost irrelevant. Make sure anything 5 or higher is great, because you'll probably have on an average between 12 and 17 of these opportunities between 7:30 and 11:30 in the morning Eastern on oil, and you'll have a similar number on the Russell. So there is ample opportunities. Here's what you don't want to do in the beginning, especially. First of all, this is inside, so you're not getting in here. It turns out that this is red. It's going horizontal. Look at the PRC band, see what they're doing. This one outside, you don't want to get out of here. This one coming down the road, this is interesting. Okay, I've never seen this before. This was interesting too because it's just barely outside. It came in, and we could have, if you got in, somewhere in here on a market order, you got in 12 ticks. So shoot for 10. What your targets are up to you. But in the beginning, if you're new, go for 7 at the most. So you build up consistency, and you can be a millionaire on 7 ticks. You can be a millionaire on 5 ticks. It just changed the number of contracts. And I'm talking about a million a year. So you've got this. Again, we're on the outside of the PRC6. You've got the crossover here. You got the blue. The 45 is almost as good as the 50 for the angle, and this is what this shade of represents as 45. So you're in on the candle here, and if you hard target, you get a 10, you'd have gotten your 10. That's the other reason why I like hard targets. You can hit the target and you don't have to worry about the reverses. You're coming in here. Let's see. I'm not outside the PRC6 here, even though this looks interesting. Because you're right here, it looks interesting. But you're not outside the PRC6, the polynomial regression. So you stay out. Wait for it to go out. Now I'm interested again. Come here. It's blue here. And I don't know where this is going. I mean, I haven't looked. Yeah, well, look at that. See? Bam. And you're down to here. Total of 17 ticks. So if that doesn't light your fire, guys, nothing's going, because that's as good as it gets. In my world. You come up here. It's outside. It's going inside the PRC too quick. You notice, see all these are outside for a while before it goes in. It's a sharper angle. This is sort of meandering along. This is going to meander along the center line. Yeah, you have to trade your personality. My personality is I think I'm actually ADD, and a few of the guys in the room will concur with that because they try to keep me to stay in longer, and I'd rather get in, get out, put the money in the bank, get in, get out, put the money in the bank. And I don't like, you have to understand, this is my personality you're looking at. I don't like, you can get in here. All right. It'll probably work. You get in here. Let's say you get out here. You got your 8, you even got a little smart. You got your 10 ticks. You got your 10 ticks. They're telling me to stay into here. Well, I don't like losing 6 of my 10 ticks. I'd rather come back here, wait for I got blue, and this is still not a great trade, but I'd rather do that, take it up there, and get my 8 ticks, and not have to go through that to get 14, and I got 16 doing it my way. Not that my way's right, I just don't like to give back money on a trade. So you'll never see, I call them ego trades. And that's the people here. I mean, this is perfect. I mean, this is outside the PRC6. Well, it's not perfect because it takes a long time to get to blue. This one's a better trade. But you get here to blue and you waited a long time, patience, and you still end up with 9 ticks. You don't try getting in here. Will this work? Yeah, it'll work, but make that phase 2 or phase 3 and do lots of studies. Let's just look for the higher probabilities at the time. Over here, I mean, look over here. This is great. Come in, you got this blue. You're on the outside. You're coming in, blue. Hop in. You come up to the first reversal candle, 13 ticks. So my 15 tick target would have made it up to there. That's fine. I wouldn't get in here, although it would work. The gap is getting big. You want these EMAs as close to together as possible. And notice I'm not even paying attention to the WMA, the old WMA, the Go Line MA on these. What you'll find is the pattern is you'll do a core trade, and then you'll do a ribbon trade or an alert trade, however you want to call it. And then on the alert trade, you won't have the Go Line in sync with your trades most of the time. Because when you entered here, this was yellow. And if you waited for the blue and blue, you'd be down here somewhere. And not that that's bad, but it's 3 ticks. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's 5 ticks. It's 4 ticks. So, I mean, this increases again. All this idea is to increase, 4 or 5 ticks each trade. 20 trades, that's 100 ticks. Now you've taken your average from 80 to 120 to 220 to 180 to 220. It's pretty impressive. Single contract. I hope you get the idea. I'm sorry about the video. Anybody have any questions? Let's see. Let me look down here. Are you still waiting for the first Obos candle after the turn? Are if we're talking about the alert trade or the spring green fuchsia trade, the ribbon trade? No, I don't. But what you're going to find, because I would have entered here because I got the blue. I got the blue, so I would have entered here. But there's no wrong or right. If you're going to do that, let's just go for 10 ticks. Because you're giving away a candle, and this is 4 range. I basically trade off the 4 range chart, and I use the minute chart for confirming, which we'll talk about later. Let's see. Yes, Eldon, I am using the same PRC settings as before. The same price and the zone. Yes, because price is right down here. So yes, price and zone should start outside the PRC6. And somebody asked me, are you saying price and zone should be outside the PRC? All right, Dave's got a run. I did record it. Let's see what this one says. Okay, Mike, you're welcome for the clarification. Yeah, distance is important. I did record this. I will send everybody a link. I think what I'm going to do in the future is I think I'll give the lesson, if you want to call this a lesson, or I'll talk about my different observations. Send the video out and then use this half hour, 45 minutes for questioning versus me explaining. And if it only takes 5 minutes for the questions, so be it. It only takes 5 minutes for the questions. But this way it gives you an opportunity to look at how I observe the market over and over again, or throw it away, whatever you want to do, and make better use of this time. Not that this is bad use, but I think I think it's a way of speeding the learning curve up. Does that make sense to everybody? Well, there's only so many ways. Yeah, and I had this a whole year before he did. Mark. Yeah. Tony's indicators are great. I happen to use the range bar a lot, and I find that they're not quite as accurate on a range bar as they are on a minute bar. If somebody wants to hang around just a couple seconds, and I'll leave this in the video, we'll go into much more detail later. But a couple of guys that have Back to the Future stuff want to know how I tie all this in. I trade off a 4 range chart. The minute chart is my confluence. And let me find This is not everything I use. We'll go through all the charts I use and how they're used. I mean, see, I'm ready for bear. And if you're not interested, just go. Of course, now I can't find the minute charts. Great. All right, maybe we won't do it. Maybe the minute charts are someplace else. All right. Well, hold on a second. They got to be here. Let's do it this way. This is a 4 range. Just don't erase them. This is a 4 range. This is a 4 range. This is an everything 4 range. So let's erase this one. And we'll talk about everything that's on this stuff in the future. This is a 4 range. Get rid of that. That's a 4 range. Okay, so where the hell am I? Oh, there they are. Here's what I do with a minute, and that's a full thing. But just looking at the time cycle markers on oil, you can see how this, let's see where we are. 740. Control Q. Control G, G, and G. Look, I mean, here's a time cycle. Here's what I look. Here's a time cycle marker. This is a blue time cycle marker. It's indicating that the market's going up. And it hits it right on. It's going up. Am I in based on that? No, but I am looking at the minute it says it's going up, and now I'm coming over here, and now on the range chart, I've got the cross, the ribbon or the alert zone crossover in it, and so I'm going up on that. If I had the full blown minute chart up, maybe a different. Well, here's the full blown minute chart. So I'm looking at this now. It's the same chart. It's just that it has all the indicators on it. Now I see this. I'm still waiting, even though this is outside the PRC and it's really good. Well, it's just barely. I'm still waiting for it to get here. I'm still getting here, but it gives me a heads up. Where it's nice is if it's following what it's doing. It says it's, right now it's funny. It's going to go up here, and now from there on it says it's going down. So that's consolidation, and then it went up. So I'm using it as a guide, but it's not absolute. It's just another point of reference. Later, I took some trades. See, it goes. Here's your up here. Now I've got just more confluence. The market's going up. The market's going up. I'm waiting for the blue line. I'm still getting in here, and the market's still going up in this time frame. So I take this, which is very similar to where it's going to be on the 4 range. I take this up. Now I get it's selling short. Well, okay, I'm not going to necessarily take the short. These are intentional traders. This is Flash and McDiver, which measures divergence. I know that this is good for at least 5 ticks. If you're a intentional trader that using this is it's R60 trade, but you got confluence that that historically it went down, and you're right against the PRC6. So it's a lot of reasons to do that. But the whole thing is now down until 902. So, right now I'm not getting into any of these because I'm not outside the PRC6 and I'm not hitting any. Now here, you're going to see about here, the blue candle and blue on the core crossover. Well, my problem with that is I'm on the other side of the halfway point, and I don't usually, the support lines I said I don't usually trade into. Support lines I have less respect for than the PRC lines, but I'm anticipating here I'm actually anticipating a change in direction because it's coming against the PRC6. So I'm not taking trades into the PRC6, and it could be a long. Interesting. Okay, here I am. It's long there, and I'm coming in. I still am not going to take the trade because it has a tendency to come back. And see, I'm happy I didn't. But now you come back, and because you're halfway, I only do 5 ticks for half. If I enter a trade, and it's and this would be a legitimate core trade, blue and blue, I'm only going for 5 ticks because I'm past the halfway point or around the halfway point of the PRC6. And these are really tight PRC6s for that purpose. I mean, you could change the settings of the PRC6 and have longer runs per se, but what I don't like, which I explained before, I don't like to give stuff away. So I'd rather quickly get my 5 ticks, get in, get out, see what happens. Take the 5 ticks, going the other way. I wouldn't have taken the trade, but because it's still green, so I'm looking for chop in here. This is another PRC6. You'd have gotten 5 ticks. I'm not, you do what you need to do, but don't go for, you'd have gotten, I mean, you'd have gotten up to here, you gotten your 15 ticks. I wouldn't have bet on that. But, and that's the advantage of fixed targets, because if you didn't have a fixed target here, by the time you hit the button to close, it's all the way down here. Where the fixed target goes, boom. And if it doesn't, you better have your stop ATM strategy so that if you don't get to 15, you get 10. So I would go up to 10. Let's see. Anybody have any questions? Which I can't even see where I did with that screen. Well, let me know if you have any questions or put it in Skype. Oh, here's Skype. Good. Eldon, I'm not giving that away anymore. If you're still here on one of the moving averages, if you have the original Dark Side stuff, you've got it. But the intellectual property of this is not the settings. It's not the indicators. They're all public domain so far. And so the intellectual knowledge or intellectual property is the thousands of hours it took to get the right numbers. All right. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, I hope that's helped, and I'll what do I call it? I'll get it rendered. Jim has a question. All right. Somebody type it in, or go back to Skype and talk. Oh, and click. Well, the problem is I can't find it. Cut and paste it. I can't find my click page. No, the candles have to be outside. The red and green have to be outside. But you're going to see that most of the time they are. They start out and they come in. This one, it started in, but you didn't hop in until here in this area, and now it goes back in. So yeah, I guess from your observations you'll figure it out. But yes, I guess your answer is yes, because I haven't really looked at it in that framework. I'm looking more at price, and it's outside. So if price is outside, these are probably going to be outside. So yes, I shouldn't be so quick to answer. And because none of these, see, I'm coming in on this one. If I came in here, I'm coming this in based on a core trade, which is the crossovers here, the MACD, we haven't even crossed over, and my first Oboz candle after the 2 blue on the go line and the core MA. But that's coming in not on a ribbon trade. It's confluence and it's going down. But I'm coming in on that, and you would capture that trade based on other observations back to the core trade. Where this is what it's either the alert zone trade or the ribbon trade, however you want to refer to it. But you're coming in right here because there's 45. You would have missed seeing that, and then up here you'd come in here, and that's on the ribbon trade, and you don't really have confirmation of the go line to enter there, just barely. But I'll tell you what, if this didn't have the ribbon, I wouldn't be entering, but that's going off flat to me. But you're still good enough to get your 7 ticks, 5 to 7 ticks in here. Does that help? Yeah, 9 ticks. So you got in your 7 ticks for sure. All right. Anybody else have any questions? Well, I'm sorry for the video presentation hang up. I got to talk to Skype if I can get through somebody at Microsoft to figure out what to change. All right. Let's call it a wrap then if you have no questions. Thanks very much. Practice. There's no substitute for screen time.